Welcome to the Real Construction Owners Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Ledford, and today we have a special guest, Jordan Moorhead, who will share with you his success principles on how he brought in over $29.5 million in revenue last year through his business. Hey, if you're a contractor or an investor, you're not going to want to miss this episode because we're going to discuss how he's built a thriving business and the principles that he implements within his business so you can get some shortcuts and do the same thing. This podcast is brought to you by federalconstructionuniversity.com. It's a course that I poured my heart and soul into for entrepreneurs and contractors, teaching you exactly how to build wealth through winning high-paying government contracts all over America, or even if you just want to focus on deals in your backyard. By enrolling in my mastermind, you'll get access to me on weekly calls. You'll get access to other contractors who are crushing it in the government realm. You'll get a series of over 40 videos. You'll get my best-selling book and much, much more. And the link will be in the description down below. Or if you just want to get started small, check out my book. It's federalconstructioncontractsimplified.com. I poured my heart and soul into it. I'm giving it away for like 85% off right now, just so you can get a taste of government contracts. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now let's dive into our podcast episode with Jordan Moorhead. Welcome to the Real Construction Owners Podcast, where we interview real construction owners and business owners who are crushing it in their realm to help you go from being a stressed out operator to a thriving business owner who can finally take your foot off the gas and become an owner who has freedom. Today, we have a special guest, Jordan Moorhead, the owner of the Moorhead Real Estate Team out of Austin, Texas. I know what you're thinking, contractors, you're like, why would I listen to a real estate professional and an owner of a team? The bottom line is this guy is about growth. They knocked down $29.5 million in business last year. He has over 40 doors, and he's about passive investments and building a thriving team. So if you want to build a thriving team with a great culture and learn how to take your foot off the gas and become an owner, pay close attention. Stay tuned. What's up, Jordan? How you doing, brother?
Good, Justin. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, it's a pleasure and an honor. You know, when I first saw you at one of the Go Abundance events, I was just like, man, that guy looks cool. I want to go talk to him. And then, you gave me some good insights on a few phone calls, but enough about that. We want to know processes, marketing, how to grow our businesses and culture. But before we dive into that, Jordan, I want you to brag a little bit. Don't hold back. I want you to tell us your story and tell our audience who you are, your accomplishments, and why they should be listening to you.
All right. So I guess, starting when I was younger, getting into business, I had a business first, and then for some reason I transitioned into being a W-2 employee. I had some disconnect there where I said, I'm going to do better working at a job because I'm going to get more hours rather than saying, hey, I'm just going to go grow the business. I didn't have the sales skill. I wasn't door knocking or whatever I needed to do. I had a lawn business when I was a kid. I was making $400 a week mowing lawns, where I should have grown that a lot rather than go and get a job. I think I even made a little less when it was all said and done. Of course, I'm paying taxes. But dropped out of high school, went to college, got into college, got about halfway through, started needing to take on debt. And at the same time I started to need to take on debt to go to college, I got a personal trainer certificate and I started working as a personal trainer, made enough money that it started not making sense to finish college because I was making right neck and neck with what my salary was going to be when I got out of school. So dropped out, grew that business, had a couple trainers, had some back office people, got out of that business and eventually sold it. When I got out of the business, I started working as a real estate agent and started doing so well that it surpassed my personal training business income by a lot and said, okay, it doesn't even make sense to focus on this at all anymore. I know I can grow this real estate thing really big. And I had started investing in real estate too. So sold that business to the head trainer, grew a team in Minneapolis, Minnesota, got tired of the cold, moved down to Austin here. Now I've grown a small team here, always looking to grow. And my investing has changed quite a bit over time, but I've always just been an investor first and an agent second.
That's a wonderful story about, really determining what your time is worth and finding, where you're best suited, where you have the best ROI. And sometimes contractors get in that trap. They get stuck in doing the work. And instead of, finding the person to do it, and then they could focus on going and getting more jobs. And what are some lessons that you learned along the way of, that journey that you just shared to us?
Just what you said right there, I think is the biggest lesson. It's all about getting more business. So marketing and sales are just the number one and two of everything that I've been a part of. I grew that personal training business because I focused on marketing and sales. And that's how I grew myself out of it. Like I said, I was the trainer at first. Then I hired trainers to do the business, and I started to grow that. And working as an agent, it's all about marketing and sales. You always have to be out there marketing. You always have to be out there selling. People get caught up in doing the work, and this is something we talk about a lot on my team. Like, you have to be so disciplined to block off that time to generate more leads, whether it's doing outbound marketing or creating content to bring leads in. And I think contractors are the same way. Like, I don't see much content from contractors at all, but I see realtors all over the place with content. If you had nice shareable content that your realtor network could share, like, that's the keys to the kingdom for a contractor. I'm not a contractor, obviously, but I work with a ton. And if you get in with a few good realtors, it's just referrals like crazy, no matter what business you're in. I know if you're in, roofing, people are going to call you for every roof inspection ever. If you're easy to work with and they know who you are.
Yeah. And I want to be that roofing contractor for you in Austin, Texas. My business is based out of Austin, Texas. I have a dozen plus representatives who can help you, because the one thing is you don't want to get your commissions tied up. If you ever come across buying or selling and you get a home inspection report, share it with me. I can get you a quote back quickly and get you your issues fixed stress-free, and even be paid on the back end when the home sells. So you can get your commissions and your team can get your commissions. That's my little shameless plug. I want to be your go-to roofer.
And, I think just educating realtors that, like, hey, we can lots of times get insurance companies to cover these things. So I have a good buddy in Minneapolis, Minnesota. When I ran my team there, we did a ton of business together, and he would come out and inspect them. But a lot of times he would negotiate with the insurance companies, get their roofs covered. So these people would be buying houses and right away would have brand new roof, brand new siding, brand new window wraps, all sorts of stuff. And the seller only had to put down, let's say, $500, $1,000. But a lot of realtors don't know you can do that. And there's not enough content out there, enough people out there telling them, hey, here's how you do it. It's no skin off your back. It saves your buyer a ton of money. It can save your seller a ton of money. It's all about just having that win-win relationship. The realtor, like you're saying, you get your commission, you get the deal done, the buyer gets a new roof, the seller saves a ton of money, and the contractor gets to put the new roof on.
Yes, it's a symbiotic relationship with realtors, with home buyers, with roofers who specialize in insurance claims and crazy weather. And that's why I love Central Texas, Austin. We have offices from San Antonio to Austin, all the way to Killeen, and we cover all that. So Jordan, if you ever, needed a good quality roofer to assist you, we specialize in insurance claims and we can help you all day with that. But enough about me. I want to know more about you, man. It sounds like you have something special. When we were talking initially, you talked about your team. You talked about how you help them grow, how you help them build wealth, how you create opportunity, and how you use the umbrella of capitalism to inspire them to produce their dream life under your business entity. Can you share some insights on that, how you do it, and how you build such a good culture?
Yeah, I think, and you talked about this a little bit where you were talking about, hey, contractors just get caught up in doing the work. But if you're doing the work, that means somebody else isn't getting paid to do any work too. So you're taking all the opportunity for yourself. I look at it as the business owner. It's my job is to create opportunity for others. And what can I do to do that? And as a realtor, I got to say, there's a lot of times where I could just go out and show a couple houses and make a bigger commission. But I know in the long run, it's going to be better for everybody if I just hand those off, and include everybody else in the opportunity. But at the same time, we talk about, and you can't see it, but we have little pictures of stuff hung up in our office that essentially is our why. So we talk a lot about like, hey, why are we here doing this? Why we don't talk about this every day, but we set all of our goals. We came up with a big why, and my why is it's a picture of Fazoli's. And I'll explain.
I don't know what Fazoli's is. What's that?
Fazoli's, there's one in Austin. Next time you come to Austin, you should go check it out. It's not that good, but you'll know what it is. Oh.
I'll be there tomorrow, actually.
Oh, yeah. Don't go there. It's not that good. But it's like a fast casual Italian restaurant. And that's where my mother took us to have my father come and tell us that he'd gotten laid off from his job. So I stare at this every so often when I'm thinking, oh, I don't need to make that next call, or maybe I can go home early, whatever it is. I say, hey, I've got that big why there. But we talk about that with our team. We talk about goals. Where are you trying to go on the business side? Where are you trying to go on the personal side? What's your next investment property? How are you going to get out of debt? Like all sorts of stuff like that. We even have somebody on our team right now that is quitting smoking. We have a couple of people on our team. It's about fitness for the year. But at the same time, we're talking about how can you grow your wealth and how can we help you do that? So
you actually care.
Yeah, there needs to be opportunities to grow your wealth, to make extra money, to do all sorts of stuff that are just going to benefit just them, not just me. It's not about me, really.
Yeah, it's beautiful. If you give a person a place to grow, they don't have any reason to go. It's one of the mottos that I live by. Love your people instead of loving the money. And if you love the people instead of the money, your business will thrive. And if you're constantly finding ways to help them grow, then they're going to stay with you and they're going to tell their friends, they're going to do better. They're going to recruit people for you. So it sounds like you have a great culture over there. What are some things that you do annually to instill culture and fun with your team, your sales organization?
So we have regular lunches where we get together. We just have a good time. We're doing a team retreat here this year. One of our agents just bought a new short-term rental property right outside of Canyon Lake. We're going to do a team retreat there. So we're going to combine the two. Hey, you just bought this nice rental property. We're going to pay you to use it, and we're going to come together as a team there. We do bigger events a couple times a year and just have a good time. But I think just we're talking every day and every week, and we're always getting together and basically saying, hey, how can we help you? What can we do to make your life easier? Maybe you have a big goal to go on a big vacation. That's great. Go on vacation. We're going to cover you while you're gone.
Nice.
And you're
nice.
Come back and have an easy time.
I love that. What's an underutilized marketing strategy that you think, whether it be real estate salespeople or contractors, should start utilizing?
Underutilized strategy. Definitely one of our most successful strategies is social media and Facebook, like having a thing for people to come to or a thing for people to follow your content. Combining those two together, I think just social media without having any real world connection lacks, in my opinion, or having just the real world in person with a huge gap in between times you get together. I don't see any reason why there couldn't be, contractor meetups. Lots of realtors do how to buy your first home. Maybe it's how to get a free roof, something simple like that. And just educating people about that whole process of filing an insurance claim and, finding extending the life of your roof. Like there's just not as much education as I would like to see from the trades. There's a lot from realtors who don't know what they're talking about on that side of things, but we need help from you guys in the trades. It's like, hey, let's get together. I have meetup that meets every couple of weeks. I would love to have a contractor come in and talk about how you can extend the life of your roof, or repairs that you can make to make sure your home's ready for XYZ time.
Yeah, let me know. We'll be there, man. We'd love to facilitate that and teach whoever the audience is, whether it be clients or your real estate team. So I'm curious regarding referrals. The referrals game, it's a strategy, and a lot of people depend on referrals, but they don't necessarily ask them in a powerful, confident way. Does your company have a referral approach, or is it more just get the referrals that are given to you whenever?
We absolutely ask. We say, hey, who do you know? Essentially, who do you know that we could help, like we helped you? You want to ask at certain periods of time. So whether it's asking for a review on Google or asking for a referral to somebody else, you want to ask when they're the peak excitement. You don't want to ask 3 months after it's done. Say,
Yes.
hey, we just put this brand new roof on for you. It looks great, doesn't it? Could you review us on Google here right now?
Yes.
Don't follow up later. You're just so much less likely to get it. Say, hey, who do you know that needs help here? That's
a big one.
System is
That's so true. That's so true. Tapping into that exciting moment and utilizing that exciting moment where the customer's on an emotional roller coaster high, not doing it randomly, on a random day. Get them while they're high, and then do it, like grab their phone and say, hey, let me show you. Do you mind if I type this up for you? Tell me what you want me to say, or do you just want me to type it up? And then I'll read it to you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Google is huge. And then just asking for, I know you guys probably put yard signs in front of everybody's house after you've done the roof, stuff like that. We just try to keep people coming back. So we have events for them to come to. We have gifts that go out to them on a regular basis. We try to just stay friendly and inviting and helpful at all times, not just when we just did the roof for you and need something from you, but all the time. So a year or two later, you're still hearing from us. And it's not, hey, let me sell you this thing. It's let me just add value and add value and add value.
As far as gifts go, I know it's kind of customary for real estate professionals to give like a closing gift. It's something I've explored. Do you guys do that? If so, why? If not, why?
Yes. And in the beginning, I just gave like stupid branded coffee mugs, and I hate that now. But I thought it was cool. Oh, look, this is so cool. I thought it was cool. I'm giving you something branded for my business. And we still kind of do that, but we do it. It's branded in their name and our business. We give them custom made cutting boards at closing. And then throughout the process, we'll send gifts like cookies, after they hit a milestone in the transaction, or a gift card to a restaurant where they're buying their home. And then actually every month we have a local service that sends out local gifts to people every month. So everybody in whatever market, Austin would be the market here, it sends out a gift to a local business in the area. Why we do that is I do want it. There's a book.
Giftology.
Giftology. Yep.
By John Rulin. He and I sold Cutco knives together. And the person you bought your Cutco cutting boards from, we sold Cutco. Or they're not Cutco cutting boards. They're wooden, beautiful cutting boards. He and I also sold Cutco together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but we try to make it personal and about them. It's something they're really going to want to go use. And it's not just some stupid coffee mug with our logo on it,
Yeah.
That's cool. We will give these out also. We still have some. I'm not buying more. I bought so many. We still have some, and I'll give them out from time to time. But there's just, people don't want some dinky thing with your logo on it. They want something about them, not you.
Yes, yes. And something they can use all the time, something that's
Yeah.
useful, something that looks cool. And it also knocks out the marketing, your top of mind awareness. Whenever there's a party, and they're using your cutting board, your name gets brought up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So we just spend a little extra money on that stuff because I think it matters.
For sure, dude. For
That's your
sure.
brand. You don't want some cheap, nasty thing lying around with your brand on it.
Now, curious, our rapid fire round. What is your superpower, Jordan?
I think really it's just helping people get better, bringing people together and helping them get better.
And I heard it once from one of our Go Bros, Go Abundance brothers. He said on my podcast, if your business isn't helping you achieve your dreams, then you just own a job.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question. The question is, what would you say is the number one role of the owner in the company?
Bringing in opportunities. Of course you need, and I think that on that same hand, you bring in all these opportunities, but you have to manage cash flows. So there's a book, Profit First, changed my life. The real estate agent's business is feast or famine. And when you don't have, even as running a bigger team or even the biggest team, it's still, you're going to have bigger months than others. And if you don't have a really good system to manage that money when it's coming in, you turn around at the end of the year and you owe a bunch of taxes and you don't have money to pay the taxes, or maybe all you have is the money to pay the taxes. And you're thinking, where'd all my profit go? I made a ton of money last year. But you have to have a good system managing cash flow.
You and I were in Florida together when we first met each other. We both did the challenge where we worked out and did crazy challenge that was gnarly that most people couldn't do. Kudos to you for that. I'm curious, the book that we were given, it was called Big Money Energy, I think.
Big Money.
By Ryan Serhant. Have you read that book, and what lessons did you learn from it that could be applicable to contractors?
I haven't read it all. I'm sorry. I actually have it laying around here somewhere. I read it sometimes at work.
Dude, that is such a good book, and there's so many nuggets of wisdom for you, the real estate professional. I was highlighting it and circling and writing in it. And from a contractor perspective, if you want big, great things in life, you have to show up with big money energy. That's the general idea of it. And how do you do that? You got to work on your spirit. You got to work on yourself. You got to work on your health. And when you do that, you got to have a big vision. And when you have those in line, you show up ready to conquer it. So I'm curious, what's a book that you've read cover to cover and the lessons you've learned from it?
I think the most important one for me is always The Miracle Morning. And just what you talked about there, you got to work on your spirit, you got to work on your health and your mindset. Like that for me, that's so important and has been so important. I'm not going to say I could never wake up and not do that, but I always want to wake up and do that because it puts me in the right frame of mind for the day. I go to the gym, I get the exercise I need to be feeling good. And it just really helps me plan out my day, plan out the vision for where I want to go, and remember what my goals are too. So Miracle Morning is the biggest one for me.
Man, Miracle Morning is by far one of the best applicable books that there is, because Hal Elrod, his story is phenomenal. He and I sold knives together a long time ago. And the acronym SAVERS, silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, inscribing, or writing. He found that the most successful people in the world do one or two of those, but he made it in a way where you could do all of them in a couple minutes each. And then when you're done, you feel like enlightened, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you feel
on a different level.
Like you feel like you downloaded, like in the movie The Matrix, where you stab in and then or like when you're playing Mario and you eat the mushroom and you're like, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
So curious, what would you say is a process that you have in place for you to regularly win deals
regularly win deals.
or become like get clients to hire you, or whatever is in your niche?
So it's just being the knowledge expert in the area of the people that we come into contact with. So we work with a lot of investors here in Austin, but more specifically, we work with house hackers. So people are going to buy a duplex and they're going to live in half, something like that. Or they're going to buy a single family home and they're going to occupy one of the rooms, rent out all the rest of the rooms. We just know that so well, and we have so much content out on that it's a no-brainer to hire us to help with that. It's not, hey, we need to go find some other realtor. There's not many other realtors or teams of realtors that know anything about that, much less the amount that we know about it. I know one other one here in Austin, you know him well.
Diego?
Yeah, Diego's team.
Yeah.
There's just nobody out there that knows that stuff. It's a no-brainer to hire us to help with that. It's a no-brainer. There's nobody here that does that as well as we do.
And that's top of mind. That's the beautiful thing is you have an omnipresence, and contractors, that's what you want to have, an omnipresence. When people think of, if you're a plumber, if you're a electrician, if you're a roofer, you want to have content, and everybody on your team posting content. So when they're at their grandma's and their grandma's like, oh, my roof's leaking, they think of, oh yeah, I got to call that guy. Here's his number. He's the one who does that stuff. So with that being said, what characteristics or habits do you instill in your life that make you so successful?
I would just say that the discipline is everything, especially with what feels like what is the market slowing down. It's all about discipline. It's who's going to show up every day at a certain time, who's going to make their calls every day, who's going to do the things that need to be done to be successful. And those are going to be the people that are still around in a year or two in my business. And the people that don't have that discipline are really going to be sorry or not made the money they wanted to make over the last couple of years.
So discipline. So for a real estate professional, and this is applicable to you contractors, because and contractors, we got to go knock doors and get belly to belly with homeowners and try to sell them something, or work with insurance agents or real estate agents. Well, what is it that y'all do? What discipline do y'all have to do daily to keep the pipeline full?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same stuff. It's who you following up with, who are you calling, who are you getting in touch with? Are you making the content you're supposed to make every day? We have contact goals every week. We have meeting goals every week. Obviously, if you're not doing those things, if you're not hitting your goals, you're not going to hit the later goals, which are money made. And then you're not going to hit the later goals, which are the real estate bot or whatever it is for you.
Can you share with me those contact goals, relationship goals, like if it's on a PDF or something? Can you share that with me? Because I'd like to maybe figure out a way to implement that in my business.
Yeah, so it's just a certain number of contacts a week. So let's say you want to have 50 new contacts a week. So 50 conversations with people about the business you're in. And it might be more. I know if you have sales guys out knocking doors all day, that would be a really small goal. If you've got somebody making 2 hours of calls a day or an hour of calls a day, that's a pretty good goal. We have an agent on our team. His goal is 5 meetings a week in person with potential clients. If you get somebody to a meeting, you're probably 70% likely going to convert them if you're good at what you do. I would say on average, 3 to 5 a week is a good goal to have for an agent.
I love that. And I love
that.
I
want to do 300 listing appointments here this year. So I have to hit a lot of listing appointments to get to that goal.
That's phenomenal. And it's applicable to the contractor. Whatever it is you're selling. For my company, I teach my guys 10 kitchen tables every week. If you do that and you have a completed offer, you can sign at least 2 deals a week. So very, very cool. What would you say is your best process you have in your business? Explain how it works and what's the benefit.
Best process isn't like something the business does.
Yeah, something that your business does. It's a process that you have instilled that you're most proud of.
Our transaction management.
Okay.
So the agent goes out, gets a contract, signed or they get the info to write a contract. We actually don't write our own contracts. We have a administrator that does that if it's within business hours. But let's say you get a contract signed, from there to the end, our transaction management process has continually gotten better, but I'm really proud of where it's at right now. So it's just taking care of the client, taking care of the lender, making sure everything that needs to be done is done, working with the title company, working with the other agent, making sure that everything that needs to be done, everything that needs to be happens at that exact same time. You have so many moving pieces that it's really easy for things to get lost, but we've worked really hard on our transaction management system here.
So you're now approaching owning over 40 doors for, your investments, and you also are doing passive investments. Can you elaborate, like for a contractor who wants to get started in investing, they're blowing their money on new Rolexes and boats instead of buying assets, they're buying liabilities. Can you elaborate, like tell us a story of one of some of your properties that you bought, what it took to get them up, and what those properties have done for you on a monthly cash flow basis?
Oh yeah. And I think it's just don't buy liabilities, buy assets that will pay for liabilities. It's just always what I've been taught. And as far as some of the properties that I've gotten, so we buy houses mainly right now. Right now, we're mainly buying houses. We're looking to move into commercial real estate here in the next year, specifically mobile home parks. But over the years, just buying these houses, we buy them for, let's say, 70 cents on the dollar. We renovate them, we increase the value, and then we pull the capital out. We don't use our own capital to do that. We borrow it for somebody else. So we don't put any money into it. And we typically don't have to put any money into it at the refinance, maybe a few grand. They make around $100 to $200 a month each. And we don't do any of the initial investment on that. So if we get the right deal, and we have a pretty tight buy box because we know what we're buying, we get the right deal, we don't put any money in, and in the end, we're getting $200 a month for none of our own money.
Not to mention you get to own the asset.
Yeah.
Not to mention you get the debt pay down of somebody else paying for the note. Not to mention all the depreciation and tax benefits you get on your income. I mean, it's the only investment that there is that you have all those boxes checked, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that tax, especially as a real estate professional, those tax benefits are endless.
Jordan, I got to ask you a question. Okay, I'm here in Costa Rica and I see all these opportunities. There's not enough supply and everybody wants to move here. Like things are getting sold left and right when they get on the market, and people can buy a lot and then put a 3D mock-up and then sell it before this even built. And I'm trying to put it in my head and I need some guidance. I'm missing a few pieces. And I want to ask you, what should I do, man? I want to be the boots on the ground. I've got the builders. I've got the real estate agents. I can find the money. How can I get in on the action and, own some of the land or, win and make some money out of that? What would you do if your family was here and you had a business running itself and you see all this opportunity and you want to own land in Costa Rica and or facilitate it all and make money along the way?
I think you have to pay for everything in cash there, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Yeah. A buddy's dad, who was a home builder in Kentucky, owned a bunch of land in Costa Rica, and he had to buy it all cash. But yeah, it's all about location. Of course, where you are too, that's probably the biggest thing, is where is it? People from the U.S. aren't going to buy houses there that aren't in great locations.
Yeah, it's a super quality location where I'm at. I'm just curious, like with you and the real estate knowledge that you have, if you were in my shoes, what would you do?
If I could put the cash together, I think I'd buy the land first and then go find the contractor to do it, find the money to put all the rest of that together. Because once you've got the land, you've got some bargaining chips there for that.
Okay, so find the land and then put together the construction. and then just, that person wants their money back, obviously. That's the only hurdle here is it takes a year to get all your permits and a year to build. So
Wow.
2 years before you can build something.
And you have to you have to pay you don't have to pay the contractor up front, so you're good there. So basically you just need to buy the land, or you need to find the money to buy the land.
Yeah.
How much is land down there per acre?
You can find land for like 100. I mean, you can find land, all different varieties of price from like 60 grand to several 100,000 and millions.
Yeah, just depending on location, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a separate topic, I guess, a separate conversation that we could have.
Totally separate. And the laws outside of the U.S. are just so different. So I just don't have a ton of experience. I have cousins that own a condo in Mexico, but they had to buy cash because there's just no lending down there for them.
Yeah. I own 10 acres here plus a nice house on a river, and I had to buy all the cash. So I totally know. My question to you is your final question. Best tip you can give to an owner of a company who's leading a team and wants to leave a legacy?
Create opportunities and create investment opportunities for them. Maybe you go buy an apartment building together, or maybe it's just a house or two. If you can create opportunities for those people to invest, that's super powerful.
That's awesome.
Obviously, you need to learn how to do it first, but
yeah. Man, Jordan Moorhead, this has been a blast. You are doing great things. You got a team of 4 salesmen. You knocked down 29.5 million last year. You're going for double that this year. You own 40 plus stores, and you have passive investments. If somebody wants to reach out to you, to maybe they've got a deal to share with you, or maybe they're a contractor that wants to, offer their services to you, what's the best way they can connect with you?
Probably, I'd say Instagram is probably the easiest, and I'm at Jordan_Moorhead on there. Email also works well, jordan.moorhead@kw, but if you reach out either way, I'm easy to find. If you can't find me, I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
An agent, just Google my name. I should be very easy to find.
For sure. Jordan, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for being on the Real Construction Owners Podcast.
All right. Thank you, Justin.
Peace. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that podcast today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you want to learn, and I will interview the best person on that subject. Hey, remember, we do have a 6-day free training teaching you how to win highly profitable government construction contracts, which you can access through federalconstructionuniversity.com, or there's a link down below. Hey, and keep in mind, I do have that new book, Federal Construction Contract Simplified. I'm offering it like 85% off. It'll teach you the basics and some also high-level tactics of how you can get started and winning these contracts, whether it's procurement contracts where you supply the government with phones and laptops, or janitorial services, or lawn services, or anything else they want to buy, or construction contracts. So with that being said, if you're interested, click on those links down in the comment below. And I appreciate you watching. Again, drop me a comment, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next episode.